So if you're checking out all of the off-road trailers, you've come across the Paz. Amazing trailer for getting off-road, off-grid, and now there is the Paz Restart. What's different? Well, they have built one with all of the same off-road capabilities, but a little less price point. Not gonna give up much, a few changes to just make it more affordable. So stick with me, I am gonna show you this amazing trailer. Hey everybody, I'm PJ from Princess Craft RV, and this is the Paz Restart. What a great trailer. I am really impressed that they were able to keep all of the integrity of these great off-road trailers. It is very off-road capable at a lower price. That's really why this was created. Now, there are some differences, and you'll see them in some of the components that they use, in some of the structure, but I promise you, it is very capable. It's gonna take you on all those rough roads. Tons of adventures can be had with this. So I wanna go inside and get started there because one of the impressive things is this is only 17-foot box, so you're only about 21 feet long, total length including the tongue, and it weighs less than 5,000 pounds. $49.90 is the official dry weight. You're gonna have so many choices in tow vehicles on this trailer, and you know, on top of that, you're not giving up a walk-around bed or a nice bathroom or a capable kitchen or a large refrigerator. It is all included. So let's head inside and get started. So stepping inside, wow, it feels every bit as quality and high-end as any Paz on the market. Just want to start there. We're going to start right up front, and I did say walk-around bed, guys. All right, I want to be real clear. You can't walk all the way around it, all right? I know the comments are coming, so I'm just jumping out there. It does have a north-south bed. Now you can get a little bit on the side. You do have maybe a side table here. I mean, you can always sit on it if you need to, or I can sit on it, I don't know. But this is a standard queen bed. 60 by 80. If you need to upgrade the mattress or you want to put a topper on it, anything standard will work. So really comfortable here. I love the design of all the storage. That is part of what makes things feel comfortable. So I pay a lot of attention to that. They've got the light wood on the sides. They have the same handles that they have in all of the Paz trailers, and the cabinetry is the same. You've got a high quality wood panel here, and bar in here. This goes all the way back to where you see the headboard. So you've got a lot of space for hanging, or of course shelves if you want that. And you do have a plug on both sides of the bed. Now this piece here is going to handle some of the gear, the pass-through, some of the things from the outside, which is why you can't walk up a little further. There's always trade-offs in a camper, right? Because, yeah, if you want to walk all the way around the bed, you have to give up some outside storage, or maybe the outside kitchen that's on this one. But that's the design with the queen bed and the upper cabinets. It's not all the same color. It just gives it that really high-end look. And you've got the lights coming out of the top and the downlights underneath. So just walking in, this is a great place to hang out. Even if you're going off-grid and you're going out to the middle of nowhere, maybe you want to come in and relax and be super comfortable. Okay, let's take a peek at the storage up here. Now, to be fair, I always try to point out the actual usability of a trailer. I can't reach that cabinet very well without kind of getting on the bed or leaning up on this cabinet. So I'll have to get my knees up here to get into it. It is about 12 inches deep, but it is on this nice curved front. So it's not terribly tall in the back, but not so bad. You're going to have about 10 inches of height there. And it goes all the way across. There's no divider. Very nice soft close on it, and the flush buttons on it that are going to hold that cabinet closed when you get on those real bumpy roads. So a nice sleeping area here. You do have, like I said, the electrical plugs on both sides, but over here on this side, you come this way, you are going to have the switch for your overhead lights. So that is last thing you turn off right there when you're ready to go to sleep. There's always the option when you're designing a trailer to lift up the mattress to get underneath it, but they've done it a little differently here, and I think I'm a fan. All right, so right under here, you've got more storage space. Just open this up, and that is your access. Now, that goes all the way to the front, and you do have access from the outside as well. Now, this one has the outside kitchen option, so it is on the right-hand side of this, so really just this half. But if there was things that you don't use very often, you know, those extra boots, those extra jackets, the backpack, easy to store right under here. So that is a very nice way to use that storage and make it really versatile for you. Whether you need to put gear in there, things that you access from the outside or the inside, you've got both options. Now coming over here to the kitchen, this is just a real nice feel. It is unusual to have a countertop like this, a thermal wrap countertop, and then you've got a matching panel going up the back. I mean, that makes it feel finished. It makes it feel like a different space. Nice raw wood cutting board. I mean, isn't that gorgeous? And it goes so well with the tile. I mean, I don't mean to be all about the aesthetics, but they've done such a good job in this trailer. I like to point all of that out. And then you've got a very deep, about 8-inch deep sink. It is that dark brushed pewter color. Your faucet comes up, swivels around. It's interesting that it's coming from the corner and it stores inside. You've also got a soap dispenser here and a single handle, all underneath the countertop. So when people say, yeah, just put a sink cover on it and you can use that as countertop, this really works that way because everything folds up, gets out of your way, and this fits right on top of it. What a clean look, easy to use. I mean, if you are not big on using the kitchen, then you can just use all of this as countertop storage, whatever you need. Now coming to the middle, I love the pop-ups. You've got the wireless charger here on the top. Then you can pull this up and you've got the 110 plugs, the USB, and a USB-C underneath, all right here in the kitchen. So very easy to use, and again, if you don't need it, it completely disappears. You've also got the 2-burner stove here with the flip up top. Of course, it's a glass top, gets out of your way, so you've got 2 burners on the side. A fair amount of countertop left here, really nice. And let's put this right back down. That go away, fold this back down, and we've got that nice countertop back again. The hood vent from Furrion, of course, is going to have a fan and a light. And over here, you control the down light. So you've got a footlight underneath this and switch right here. I find that kind of interesting, but that's where it is. The other lighting choice they made was to put 2 lights right up here, so your countertop is really bright. Very much appreciated, guys. I love that. And up here at the top, you've got another light that matches the lighting on top of the cabinets and on top of your bed. Now that's all controlled from one switch, but really nice to have that indirect lighting and not a whole bunch of fixtures front to back. Storage up here, we've got really nice space. Now, one difference that you'll see in the pause restart is that you've got these flat cabinet doors. A little less expensive to make and maybe not quite as stylish, but I kind of like the look. So I don't think that would be a big deal for almost anyone. Now up here you've got one big piece. You may notice in the back that you've got a panel there with handles on it. And that is simply a way to access the wiring and anything you might need to get to that's behind that back panel. So if you're having any kind of issues or need to do some maintenance, access to the workings of the trailer is really helpful. So I like that Pause does a great job in giving you easy access and without having to get out your screwdriver and take things apart. Just push these in, you've got these flush doors, nice feel, and they're locked going down the road, so you're not gonna have any problems. Let's look down below because you do have a nice microwave right here. It is the microwave with the convection and the air fryer. So all the choices right down here. Now underneath that, you've got a nice drawer. Let me show you that. It's going to be only about 4 inches deep, but it goes the depth of the countertop, and then more storage over here underneath the sink. Let's take a peek. For as deep as that sink is, it's surprising to me that you still have so much room left under here. You do have some plumbing you're going to need to work around, but still a lot of space to be used. Now, one of the differences in this trailer compared to the other Pause trailers is the forced air furnace that you see underneath. It's a Suburban furnace. It works great, guys. The difference between this and maybe the Truma that you have seen in the other Pause trailers is going to be that this one actually kind of comes on and off, and you're going to hear it. It's a little louder. Is it unbearable? Well, it is what is in so many trailers out on the market that if it was terrible, no one would use it. I probably shouldn't tell you that, but the reality is this is a very dependable furnace, works great. It is simply going to cut on and off depending on the temperature, and it's going to be a little louder than the Truma. But again, this is a great price, and that furnace is going to keep you nice and toasty. All right, the refrigerator behind me, they didn't skimp on this. This is huge. And when you have a trailer that's 17 foot, it is incredible to find a 10 cubic foot refrigerator in that trailer. You've got plenty of shelf space, the crisper drawer on the bottom, the shelves on the door, plenty of freezer space. If you want to get away from it all, carrying all the food with you is not going to be a problem with this guy. Now the dinette, it's a little bit different than you'll see in some trailers, but it works great in here. It is an L-shaped, and I was a little concerned that maybe it wouldn't be terribly comfortable, but yeah, I'm only 5 feet tall, but if you're 6 feet tall, this is still going to be very comfortable. It has a lagoon style table, so it's going to move around all different directions, wherever you need it to be. You can even swivel it around to get it completely out of your way if you want to do that. And it makes for a great seating space. Now you also have a shelf right here behind me. Matches the countertop, matches the table. All this white makes this feel much bigger than it actually is. And another plug right back here in the corner, which is going to have the 110 and the USB-C. So everything's available right there. TV right behind me, really nice to have in this trailer, and of course it's going to swivel a little bit so you can make it more accessible for the dinette or from the sleeping area. And more storage up above. You've got 2 lights coming right down on this. Whoops, 3 lights right above me. This is such a bright trailer. Between the white and the lighting that they've done, I mean, I can see why the lighting is so indirect, because that creates a nice open glow without anything being real glaring. But under here, you've got 3 lights and 2 speakers. We have 2 more speakers outside, so there's going to be tunes in this. I'll find that in just a minute. Right up here, let's look at the cabinet space. I love the indirect lighting up above. Yeah, these are going to be of course narrower than the kitchen ones, but a little tough for me to open with one hand because I'm so short, but about 6 inches deep here, but about 10-12 inches tall. So storage all the way across here. Again, the two-tone look, really awesome. And now I want to show you, I think up here is where the controls are for the music. So I just swivel this table out of the way. See how easy that was? Pretty incredible, the space that it makes in here. So right up here, you've got the controls for the Bluetooth connection, so easy to hook up your phone, whatever you're using for your music. And you'll notice in the back of these cabinets, you have the removable panels as well. I think that is so brilliant, makes it easy. Couple of screws, lift the panel out, and you are good to go. So at the end of the cabinet, you have your awning controls right here. Of course, a couple of outside light switches that are going to control the outdoor patio light. It's also going to change colors because you do have a couple of color options. I'll show you that out there. And then these last two, one are the under cabinet lights, and the other one is going to be the indirect lighting that's above. So that's the under cabinets. There's the indirect. Really nice way to do this because, yeah, a little bit of light sometimes goes a long way when you're out in the middle of nowhere and there's no ambient lighting outside. So down below the refrigerator is going to be the converter with the breakers and fuses. And over here you will see, actually you won't see, all of the gear that comes with the solar package. Almost all of the restarts that are out there are going to have the solar package on there, but it is optional. And that is going to give you 200 watts of solar on the roof. But underneath these seats is 3 102 amp hour batteries. The lithium is by Expion 360 and 306 amp hours altogether. Okay, less than what you will find on some of the high-powered trailers out there, but still very capable amount of batteries. And if you wanted to upgrade that, it's possible. You can go up to 600 amp hours. So your dealer can help you with that. Princess Craft would love to help you, but the 300 amp hours is there and it's standard on that package. Now behind this seat cushion and underneath the countertop, you will find the Victron charge controller. You will also find the 2000 watt inverter and the servo that's going to help you connect to it. Now right here, get that out of the way, just pull this cover off, and this is going to be your touchscreen. This Victron touchscreen is going to be able to tell you how charged your batteries are, what power you're using. It is going to be invaluable to run this rig if you're not plugged in and you're out there having a great adventure. So all right here, easy to get to. Let's talk just a bit about what this system can do for you, because when you're kind of stepping into a different price point, the fear is that you're going to be missing out. But the reality is you've got over 300 amp hours of battery power, and it is going to be able to do so much on this trailer. It's going to operate every plug. You're going to be able to run the microwave. You're going to be able to run the coffee pot, the toaster oven. You can even run the air conditioner. But you do have some limitations. So if you wanted to go camp off grid and use that AC for 8 hours a night, every night, and it is imperative that you have that, you're going to want to maybe upgrade this battery system a bit. However, it can run it, it can cool it off in here without a problem, because this is the 18,000 BTU Chill Cube by Furrion. This AC is pretty new to the market and really incredible. 18,000 BTUs. Now, most trailers like this are going to have 15,000. This is even higher than that, and it has a soft start built in, so not a problem starting it and running it with this 2000 watt inverter. Really amazing capability. It is going to be cold in here, even if it's a really hot day, because as I'll tell you on the outside, you've got the same insulation in this trailer that you have in all Paz trailers. No skimping there. Now, right behind the TV here, there is the monitor panel that's going to tell you how much is in your tanks. So this trailer is going to have 34 gallons of fresh water, 30 gray, and 30 black. Of course, it's got the easy to read buttons, and it tells you whether you're 1/3, 2/3, or full. And down below, you have a water heater switch and a water pump switch. Let's talk briefly about the water heater, because that is another difference here. You know, in trying to get the price down, one of the things that they changed was some of the components, like the furnace and the water heater. You know, Truma components, they're very expensive. They do a great job, but more standard components are going to really make it an easier price point. So that's why you have a forced air furnace, and you also have a tank water heater. Now, we've used these tank water heaters forever, and the forced air furnaces. This is not untested or bad equipment. It is just different equipment. So this one does have a tank water heater. It is still easy to use. You push the button, the water heats up, and you've got 6 gallons of hot water ready to go. So one of the differences there, and just above that, you have a tank heater switch. If you are traveling down the road and it's freezing outside, you want to be sure those tanks don't freeze, and you're probably not running your furnace that is going to keep them warm. So you've got a tank heater right here. All right, I want to go into the bathroom because that's always a key factor. You're looking for enough space, enough luxury, and they've really put it together well. So let's head that way. The space in the bathroom, it's always the question. All right, probably not dancing room, but guys, this is a 17-foot box. So it's pretty incredible, the space that you have in here. Even more incredible to me is the countertop and the sink area, because that's usually the best place to skimp. They've got this nice white countertop, the same as you have in the kitchen. So it feels very nice, an undermount oval sink that, yeah, it is not ceramic, but it's pretty much residential size. So it's not unusual to have a sink this size and maybe a half bath. So you've got a nice feel in here, and so much countertop. They put a little bit of a curve to it, very nice. And you can put things on the back. You don't have to move them all the time. You don't have to put them away. So once you get set for camp, this bathroom can be set up so that it works great for you. You've got a nice towel rack here, the 110 plug. You do have a nice on-off light switch. Now 2 lights over here. You don't have any lights over here. So that's a little odd to me. But I mean, if that's the first thing that I find on this trailer that I question, I'm pretty impressed. There is a switch here on the wall that says off, on, set. It's unusual to have a switch that turns on and off the fan up above, but it's 6'8" to the ceiling. So a little tricky for me to work it this way and hit the buttons, but I can just turn it on here and the fan comes on, hit the button again, and it changes the fan speed. So very easy to operate right here on the wall. Sometimes they'll have a remote and you can work everything with the remote. I like it so much better with just a switch. Just turn it on and off. Now you will have to open up the vent a little bit, so you do have to kind of reach up and get that done. But then once it's open, everything else is controlled right here. So that's pretty simple. A lot of talk for a switch, but it's unusual. So now you know what that switch is. The cabinet, well, it's not rectangle. It's got a kind of a weird angle to the front of it. I kind of like it. You open up this door and it drops down here. So you've got about a 5-6 inch drop, but then a flat space up at the top. So it's pretty deep. You can kind of see the size of it, and I don't know, very interesting the way they've done that. You don't have anything to keep things from falling out when you open the door. So this would be a great place for towels maybe and everything else down here, because with this tall lip on it, it's going to be contained. So nice cabinet to have there. Very interesting. You've got a nice mirror here, and on this side, the shower. Let's head into the shower and see how that feels. We've got 6'8" out here. You're going to lose about 4 inches in the shower. But a nice curved rod out here, a nice, not terrible shower curtain that I wouldn't mind using. They used a little different sidewalls as well, which, gosh, it feels great. And the elbow room, wow. Even someone who's larger than me is not going to have any trouble in this shower. You've got a nice shower head. They didn't put the cheapest version in here. It is a really nice spray-controlled variable shower head, double handles. Nothing wrong with this shower. And the best part, it's a porcelain toilet. And that's always the question, is how much space is around it? Well, the answer is there's plenty of space. You are good to go here. Even if you're a whole lot taller than me, you're not going to have any problems at all. So you do have to step around the toilet just a bit to get in the shower. Guys, 17-foot box. Incredible. This is the nicest bathroom I've ever seen in a trailer this size. In fact, I would venture to say that the entire layout is so open and so versatile. And on top of that, the lighting, the white, the simple decor makes it feel so elegant. I really am a fan. So let's go outside. Let's check out how sturdy this is going to be going to those remote places that you're just dying to get to. Stepping outside, I love the MORryde steps. They're wide, they're easy to use, easy to fold up and put away, so they're not causing any clearance issues. But let's talk about the structural differences, because I know that's always the question. I really want a sturdy trailer, so is this good enough? Guys, the outside walls, the roof, everything is the same as the Pause trailers. It's got the fiberglass outside. You have the Asdel behind the fiberglass instead of the wood. Block foam insulation, very sturdy here, same on the roof. You've got a composite floor. So here's some differences. Underneath, you're going to have a 6-inch tube steel frame. Now, if aluminum is super important to you, we understand. But this is a Lippert frame. It's going to do a great job. And it's E-coated and powder coated. Now, what that means is they actually drop this frame into the paint, so that paint gets all over it, doesn't miss any nook or crannies. And then once they pull it out, then they powder coat it. So it's very well done, very sturdy, very durable, no matter what kind of terrain or weather you're in. The other thing you might notice is that this is the CURT independent suspension. So that means you've got the coil springs and you've got shocks on here. It is a great suspension. It is used on a lot of off-road vehicles and trailers, and you'll be amazed at how capable it is. This is going to do great on all of those rough terrain roads that you want to go on. I would not hesitate a bit to use it. And you've got the amazing clearance here. That's what you need to look for in a capable off-road trailer, and this certainly has that. Now, the framing, the structure, so much of it is the same as the Pause. I really love the extrusions on all the corners. You've got the solid walls. I like the front of it. They've added a little bit of an angle to the front. The awning, the lights. Now, this isn't different, but they've got the lights up here. And at night, even when your awning's not out, it really makes just a beautiful setting here. Let's look at some of the features on here that are options. Now, it may be an option, but let me tell you, what you see on almost all the restarts that are out there on the market is they're going to be optioned out. They're going to have the solar package. They're going to have this drop-down table, and they're going to have the kitchen. So don't be surprised if everything is already there, because that's the way most people will want it. So let's take a look. This is a drop-down table. Let me get this. These are really stiff when they're new. And this drops down. It can be for anything you'd like. You know, they call it a drop-down bar. Yeah, it can be that. But of course, you can put all your gear up here. You could put, I mean, pretty much anything up here from your music, your TVs, your prep for your food, or just to store all the outdoor stuff for the beach or the hike. And then when you don't need it, you just fold it right back up and clip it into place. You've got the standard Pause tires. They are the Goodyear Wrangler Duratrax, really good off-road tires. And I want to move up here and show you the outdoor kitchen. Right here next to it, let's start here, you've got a spray port that you can add. So you've got some water available to you. Always nice in a kitchen because when you pull this out, let me grab it, you've got a sink. Just push this down. Oh, takes a little pressure. And you've got a nice sink here, folds up and goes away with your kitchen when you're done. Now right up here, let's slide this back out of the way. Right up here, you've got a cutting board. This is going to be a nice little cooler. Even if you're not cooking outside, having the drinks available, very nice. Gray stone griddle and storage here. Here is the clip-in for your spray port, so easy place to store it if you'd like, or you could store all your spatulas there. Now, outdoor kitchens, it is optional, but most of the trailers will get in here, will have them, because here in Texas, man, we love cooking outdoors, and this just makes it so easy. So let's put this away, slides right back in, and this has the slam latches and the magnets, so super easy to use. Let's go right up here on the tongue, because I want to show you the front profile is very different than what I have seen in the past. And you've got a nice solid piece down here, so it's going to catch any of those rocks or brush. And then up at the top, a really nice curved front. And there's a hard cover on 2 5-gallon propane tanks and a little holder for that plug. I mean, always a nice little touch. However, the big thing is the jack. You've got this power jack. It's center. It's great because it doesn't mess with your clearance, and push button right here. So if you've never worked with those jacks before, super easy, very strong, and able to work in almost any terrain. Really nice feature. Now over here, this is the other access to that pass-through. Look at that storage. Again, you've got that kitchen. It's an option. So you could have a full pass-through if that's what you wanted. And tons of storage here. Working to the back, you've got low point drains. I mean, these low point drains, I don't even have to squat down to reach them. You've got so much clearance here. This is your furnace outlet because we have that Suburban forced air furnace. And back here, your 30 amp plug-in. Right here, maybe a little different than you're used to seeing, your satellite and cable connections, if you have that available to you. Your tank flush, if you want to flush out these tanks, because especially that black tank, you want to keep it real clean. That is going to be the top one. I love that they give me a little guide at the top instead of little labels that fall off. Now you have a city fill and a tank fill. All the same, all easy to use right here on the end. The Suburban water heater is right here on the end, and underneath the tank dumps. Pretty easy to use. You've got a single exit point here with a gray and a black handle, very standard. And again, pretty high off the ground here. You're not going to have any problems with that dragging. You'd have to get on some pretty serious terrain. You do have the 4-inch bumper back here for the sewer hose if you wanted to use that. Up top, you've got a backup camera. Again, the backup camera is optional. We almost always add it onto these Pause trailers. That is really helpful when you're traveling and when you're off-road. Now, they mount the spare tire on the back wall. It is a bolt through. It isn't going to come off. It is up high, so it's not going to cause any problems. There are some fold-up trays that you can get in the back that are going to help you carry more gear. That's one reason that putting it up high really makes sense. All right, so we're back around to the front. And I've covered so many features on this. I know there's something I missed or maybe something you have a question about. We're happy to answer all your questions here at Princess Craft. So yeah, leave a comment below or just give us a call. The Pause Restart is a great entry into the off-road group of trailers and really very capable. I'm so impressed and so happy to show it to you. Thanks for watching. I'm PJ from Princess Craft, and I'll see you next time.